My father, Henry Walker, led the Sunday council like a preacher and a warden. The men called the shots. The women stitched quietly in the sewing circle. I was 17 when I started hiding messages in those seams, tiny phrases embroidered into cuffs. Madison, just 13, caught one, her wide eyes locked on mine. You wrote this, she whispered. I nodded. That day, rebellion moved from idea to action, and I knew we'd never unsee the truth again. Henry caught Madison humming a band song when I'd hummed near her days earlier. His glare could crush glass. He made her kneel in front of the sewing circle. My hands trembled with the needle. I told her nothing. I lied. He believed me. For now, that moment sealed it. I wasn't just resisting for me. Madison was watching. The circle was watching. That afternoon, I stitched a red thread through my hem. Our symbol, our war cry. One winter morning, the men found our hymnals were written lines of control replaced with verses of defiance. Henry demanded names. No one spoke. The sewing circle met silently that night. I passed Madison a seam ripper under the table. Start unlayering, I whispered. It wasn't just embroidery anymore. It was a revolution in thread. That night, I saw fear flicker in Henry's eyes for the first time. In a flashback, I remembered the first time Henry punished Mom for laughing during prayer. She cried into her apron. I stitched a flower into its corner later, hidden beneath the fold. That was my first secret act. Madison asked why I used daisies. Because they grow back, I told her. As she stitched one into her collar, the symbol had survived. So had we. We slipped rewritten prayers into the pockets of the younger girls. One day, I saw Madison whispering to Henry's favored niece. Panic surged. Was she betraying us? But she slipped the girl a ribbon marked with a single daisy. Relief flooded me. Madison wasn't a child anymore. She was leading. That was the twist. She had become the spark I never dared to be at her age. Henry found a stitched note. No more silent women. He ripped it apart in front of the circle, his voice thunderous. But no one flinched, not even Madison. That night, I heard knocking 3 times, then pause. Our signal. 10 women arrived, daisies on their sleeves. We weren't just hiding anymore, we were gathering. That was the night we knew exposure wasn't a threat, it was a promise. The next Sunday, we stood instead of sitting. Silent, unified. Henry tried to shout us down, but his voice cracked. The younger men looked confused, the older ones afraid. Madison held up her apron, one massive daisy sewn across. The room fell silent. It was no longer about rebellion, it was reckoning. Women from neighboring towns heard and came. They carried threads, not weapons. But that Sunday, every pew held a daisy. Henry left the church without a word. Madison stood beside me, hands ink-stained from writing our new hymnal. The sewing circle wasn't a circle anymore. It was a network, and I was no longer afraid.